Before we dive into one of aviation's greatest mysteries, make sure you're subscribed to Crime Pulse Chronicles. Hit that like button and turn on notifications so you never miss our investigations into the cases that refuse to be forgotten. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 vanished into thin air with 239 souls on board. It was supposed to be a routine 6-hour flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. But at 1:19 a.m., the aircraft disappeared from radar screens, triggering the most expensive search operation in aviation history. What happened in those final moments? Was it mechanical failure, hijacking, or something far more sinister? Today, we're examining the evidence, the theories, and the disturbing facts that investigators discovered. Flight MH370 was carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members from 14 different nations. Among them were families heading home, business travelers, and 2 Chinese toddlers traveling with their parents. The Boeing 777-200ER was one of the safest aircraft models ever built, with an impeccable safety record. Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a 53-year-old veteran pilot with over 18,000 flight hours, was at the controls. Everything appeared normal during the pre-flight checks. First Officer Fariq Abdul Hamid, 27, was relatively new but well-trained. This was his final training flight before being certified to fly the 777 independently. At 12:41 a.m., Flight MH370 was cleared for takeoff from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Within minutes, it was cruising at 35,000 feet, heading northeast toward Beijing. At 1:19 a.m., less than 40 minutes into the flight, the last verbal communication was recorded. Captain Zahari's voice came through clearly. "Good night, Malaysian 370. It was a standard sign-off as the plane transferred from Malaysian to Vietnamese air traffic control. But something was terribly wrong. Just 2 minutes after that final message, the aircraft's transponder was manually turned off. This device transmits the plane's location, altitude, and speed to air traffic control. Turning it off required deliberate action. It doesn't just fail. When Vietnamese controllers tried to make contact, there was only silence. Flight MH370 had vanished. But here's where it gets even stranger. Military radar revealed that the plane didn't crash immediately. Instead, it made a sharp turn westward, flying back across Malaysia, avoiding detection by staying at the boundaries between Malaysian and Thai airspace. When dawn broke on March 8th and the plane failed to land in Beijing, panic set in. Families gathered at airports in Kuala Lumpur and Beijing, desperately waiting for information. But authorities had nothing to tell them. The plane had simply disappeared. What followed was the largest and most expensive search operation in aviation history, costing over $150 million and involving 26 countries. Search teams combed 120,000 square kilometers of the Indian Ocean. But the sheer size of the search area, larger than the state of Pennsylvania, made finding anything nearly impossible. Weeks turned into months. No wreckage, no bodies, no answers. Then, in July 2015, 16 months after the disappearance, a piece of debris washed ashore on Reunion Island in the western Indian Ocean. It was a flaperon, a wing component. Forensic analysis confirmed it came from MH370. Finally, physical proof that the plane had crashed into the ocean. But this only deepened the mystery. Where was the rest of the aircraft? With limited evidence, investigators and experts developed several theories about what happened to Flight MH370. Let's examine each one. Theory 1. Catastrophic fire or decompression. Some experts believe a sudden fire or rapid decompression incapacitated the crew. The turn westward could have been an attempt to make an emergency landing at the nearest airport. However, this doesn't explain why the plane continued flying for hours on autopilot, or why no distress signal was sent. Theory 2. Hijacking. 2 passengers were traveling on stolen passports, Iranian nationals seeking asylum in Europe. Initially, this raised red flags, but investigators found no links to terrorism. The men were simply migrants using fake documents. Still, could someone else have hijacked the plane? And if so, why make it disappear so completely? Theory 3. Deliberate act by pilot. This is the most controversial theory, and the one many investigators believe is most likely. Captain Zahari had a flight simulator at home. Investigators discovered he had practiced a similar route into the southern Indian Ocean just weeks before the flight. Was this practice for an emergency scenario, or something more sinister? His personal life showed signs of stress, a recent separation from his wife, political frustrations in Malaysia, but his family and colleagues insist he was not suicidal and loved flying. Theory 4. Mechanical failure. While the Boeing 777 has an excellent safety record, no aircraft is perfect. Could a catastrophic system failure have disabled communications while leaving the autopilot functional? Some experts point to similar incidents where planes flew for hours with incapacitated crews. But again, this doesn't explain the deliberate transponder shutdown or the calculated course changes. Despite years of investigation and millions of dollars spent, we still don't have definitive answers. 239 people vanished without a trace. Families never got closure. The aviation industry was forced to confront a terrifying reality. In 2014, a massive commercial aircraft could simply disappear. Here's what we know for certain. The plane was deliberately diverted from its planned route. Someone turned off the transponder and communication systems. The aircraft flew for approximately 7 more hours after disappearing from radar. It crashed somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean, but the main wreckage has never been found. Over 30 pieces of debris, confirmed or likely from MH370, have washed up on shores across the Indian Ocean. But the biggest questions remain unanswered. Who was in control during those final hours? What was their motive? And where exactly did Flight MH370 come to rest? The official investigation concluded in 2018 without determining the cause. The case remains open, but active searching has stopped. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in modern aviation. Despite unprecedented international cooperation and cutting-edge technology, we may never know the complete truth about what happened on that fateful night. For the families of the 239 people on board, the lack of answers makes their grief even more unbearable. They deserve closure. They deserve the truth. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think happened to Flight MH370? Was it a tragic accident, a deliberate act, or something else entirely? Leave your theory in the comments below. And if you want to dive deeper into unsolved mysteries that haunt us, check out our next investigation. Don't forget to subscribe to Crime Pulse Chronicles and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the cases that refuse to be solved. Join our community of truth seekers in the comments, and let's uncover the stories the world forgot. Coming up next, the Zodiac Killer terrorized California in the late 1960s, but there's one victim authorities tried to keep secret. We're exposing the case they don't want you to know about. See you in the next investigation.